The Build Show today, we're diving into a topic that I don't normally get into, and that's design. We've got 5 tips for your next design build kitchen project. So I brought an expert in for me for today's video. This is Doug Cameron. You probably know Doug from Build Show Network. He and his wife together run a design build firm here in Austin, Texas, and they've got some really good advice for your next kitchen project. Now, part of this video, we're going to be talking about Magicplan, and that's who's sponsoring today's video. This is an app you can get for your iPhone or your iPad. And I got to say, after seeing Doug's kind of breakdown of how it works and what you can do with it, I was totally blown away. This is a very, very impressive app with a lot of cool features. With that being said, Doug and Lillie, let's get going.
Thank you, Matt. Hola, amigos. I'm Doug Cameron, and this is my lovely business partner and wife, Lillie. And we are here today in this awesome kitchen renovation that we're working on, and we're going to show you 5 tips for design building a kitchen. Starting with number 1, Lillie.
So the first is really the conception and the design. And what we found is we have this really neat tool that is called Magicplan that essentially allows us to come in, and once we've demoed and created this clean slate, I can either come in with my phone or iPad and create a complete visual map of the space so that I can have all of the measurements and have everything laid out. Doug's got this great Bluetooth laser that he can use to coordinate with the app and actually verify all the measurements. And it gives us the ability to have that visual and see, you know, for this kitchen, for example, how am I going to lay out the cabinets? How am I going to lay out the appliances? And get a great 3D visual of the space.
And how much time did this take us to put this together?
About an hour.
Yeah, it's incredible. Super cool.
So, you know, we can use an architect for all of this, or we can just come in ourselves, you know, shoot the entire space with the phone or the iPad, coordinate with the Bluetooth laser, and then have those 3D renderings that then we can integrate with our software or other things and start that to actually create the basis of our design.
That's right, and you can actually do just a phone scan of the room if you're kind of doing something quick and dirty. And then if you want something more precise, you can incorporate that Bluetooth tape measure. And it's just super rapid, and it's a very consistent, trustable measurement. So what's next, Lillie?
So the biggest step next that we've found is really important is selecting your appliances. Switch it up on you.
Go for it.
But there's really long lead time on appliances right now, 6 months plus. So, you know, having that selected and figured out so that then we can coordinate with flooring and cabinets and all of the other elements. That's something that we've really learned over the years. You know, it didn't used to be such a big long lead time. Now with lead times, we really want to plan out our appliances and have that well done. With this project in particular, and with most of our projects, we are doing all new custom cabinetry. And anytime you're doing custom cabinetry, that cabinetry is customized to those appliances. So you have to know what your appliances are first and all those specs and measurements, and before you can actually design your cabinets.
That's right. And then with the MEPs, I just kind of want to point out, meaning mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, we really need to have that good information of those appliances provided to us, have it on site. A lot of times we like to incorporate either the specs printed out on site, very easy to see, and or an iPad or a tablet that has those specs provided in there. And then we actually want to align our team, our electrician, our plumber, and the whole nine to pinpoint those locations that are provided on those specs, so that when we have, you know, when it gets time to go plug in those appliances, everything fits just perfectly.
Yeah, really not having to cut a hole in your cabinetry after the fact and make some, you know, ugly, gnarly hole in the back, that's not something you want to do. So really knowing, you know, where all of those locations are from your specs and your appliances, coordinated with your cabinet install, super critical element when you're doing any new kitchen.
Absolutely. And so I was actually going to say flooring before appliances, but, you know, I'm glad she mentioned appliances, and she's right about those lead times. So super critical to keep that in mind. The reason I was going to say flooring is because in the last 10 years or so, I can't really think of hardly any projects where we've put in a separate type of floor in the kitchen that we didn't have throughout the rest of the house. Now, I have, you know, been part of that a few times, but where I see things going these days is that kitchens are getting opened up. And in terms of opening up, Lillie's a big fan of kind of not opening up too much, which I agree with, and kind of having some partitions, some separations. We were able to really accomplish that in this kitchen because we had some stairs that were kind of in the way, but we were able to to input this killer cutout that created some flow, brought some natural light in, connected the spaces of the living room. But back to the flooring, the reason that I would say the flooring is twofold. One is you want to install that flooring underneath the cabinets in almost every scenario that we operate. And two, I just really like the idea of that continuous flow of that flooring material. And so I think it's a big element to choose. And in this particular space, we chose this sexy white oak because we've had a lot of success with it. And how we also go about the vast majority of our remodels, whether they're for clients or somebody else, obviously we cater to the architect and the client's needs, but especially if we're doing something speculative, we want to do something that we believe in and we would want to do for ourselves. So we're just huge fans of this beautiful white oak flooring. And I love engineered flooring, guys. It makes a ton of sense, especially down south here in Texas. We're on slab foundation a lot. So what's next, Lily?
So cabinetry. In this project, we're using a really sexy European matte black cabinetry, frameless. Doug will call it a Euro overlay. There's a little
full
bit of
overlay.
Yeah, there's you can do this with hardware or without. You've got more of the Scandinavian look and just tip-ons. We decided on this project we are going to add a little bit of bling and some nice gold toned hardware throughout this matte black cabinetry with the white oak floors here. You know, we're tying that in with some nice open shelving. Mm-hmm. But with this, I think having the cabinetry layout and, you know, having Magicplan to help decide, you know, and when you're laying out the space and creating the flow, one thing that I really love with cabinetry and doing all new custom cabinetry is I'm creating more drawers versus the doors that open up. I really love having drawers. It gives you more access to things. And you know, anybody who's coming into a house and spends a lot of time in the kitchen, having those drawers is a really nice element. Yeah,
much more functional with the drawers, absolutely, guys. And a couple of things on the drawers. Anytime you do a bank of drawers, it's always going to be a little bit more expensive than doors because there's just a lot more idiosyncrasies to doing drawers, but it's also much more functional, and it's really going to keep whoever is doing the majority of the cooking in that kitchen a lot happier. So I would highly suggest doing lots of drawers. Many kitchens we do just totally drawers, but you know, obviously there's a time and place for doors as well. Another thing I'd like to point out is with the cabinet material, and you know, I made a video about this in the past. We're in 2021, about to hit 2022, and everybody's getting away from the shiny stuff, y'all. So matte finishes are really where it's at. I'm just a big fan of matte finishes with both wood materials, whether it is a wood veneer or just a paint color, you know, like that monochromatic in this case, matte black is just what the doctor ordered, and I can't just express in words how popular that matte black is these days. So what's next, sweetie?
So the last element after the cabinetry that you're putting in is going to be your countertops. And you know, while we've looked at a couple different options and had some thoughts about completely creating kind of a matte black element, you know, you were really passionate about making sure that we're using natural materials here.
That's right.
And so staying away from kind of some of the, you know, trendier stuff.
Yeah. And let me just pause you here. I want to kind of give you all a further explanation about the countertops over at our office where we actually have been doing all the dirty work. So follow us along and let's go to the office and check it out.
So for this project, we were looking for a marble material, and we wanted something that had a lot of white in it, but had some really natural veining that we could take up the backsplash and do a really tall backsplash. So we're over here and we're looking at a few slabs. Doug, do you want to take us through our good friends at Arch Surfaces?
Yeah, that's right. So Architectural Surfaces is one of the premier countertop vendors in town, and why we like them so much is because they go after exclusively select grade material, meaning that you're not getting all the standard stuff that you can get kind of everywhere. They're going for like that just, you know, superior quality and the stuff that just looks the absolute best. We also really like them because they offer same-day delivery, and they have an incredible showroom when we do want to go. But I will say, Lily and I have gotten in the habit of no longer going to the showrooms because the photographic quality of what they're able to provide us, all these vendors these days, is just so good that we can see these slabs super well and can zoom in on the computer, and they'll actually pull other slabs if we're not liking this particular one. So this is actually the one that we went with. This is a, what one
so
is this?
we did a Bianco Carrera, and we did a 2 cm polished for this. So what we found is a slab that we really, really loved. They had a few, so we could get kind of all matching, and all we have to do is call our friend Blake from Arc Services, and he will help us with our order. So we're going to give Blake a call. And we've got our selections picked up. He's actually helped us with some additional pictures. And here's Blake. Hey, Blake.
Hey.
What's up, Blake?
Not a lot. How are y'all?
We're good.
I mean, we're good.
We're good. So we're ready to pull the trigger on that Bianco Carrera. We want to do the 2 cm.
Yeah, that's right. How many slabs did we need?
Well, the great thing about Magicplan that now integrates with CoConstruct is all my measurements went over there. So I'm able to pull that and see that we need 3 slabs for this project.
Okay, let me check on that. Same ones. Yeah, sounds good. I've got them 3 here, and I can get them actually delivered tomorrow.
All right.
That'd be awesome.
All right,
Good
so
deal.
we'll get them over to our yard with render countertops. And
Yes.
you've got all that information?
It's already in there.
All right, anything else we need to
You guys
do?
know to expect us in the morning.
All right.
Hey, Blake, we really appreciate y'all. Y'all are always coming with that top-notch stone and making us look good. So thank you, buddy.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's not my doing, but I'll definitely pass the message along.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Take care. Have a good one, Blake.
All right, so we need to meet back in a couple weeks after we get these countertops installed, and we'll be able to show you guys the full finished kitchen with all of the beautiful countertop material.
Hola, amigos. And we're here in the finished product of the kitchen, the anti-flip number 3. And Lily, why don't you tell us about a few of your favorite things?
Sure. So I'll start with an integrated trash can. Not having a trash can that sits out in the kitchen, having that built into the cabinetry is really important. Also, as we mentioned earlier, having a ton of drawers versus just doors that are hard to kind of see what everything is. The drawers, easy to pull, easy to see where all the things are in the kitchen, moving through all of that. Another item that I've found is critical in our kitchens that we've done in the last several is a workstation sink. You can put your cutting board, your drying rack, all of that is there. It's really easy, it saves space, it keeps it more clean. We've got a faucet here that's just one touch on, one touch off, a nice integrated matte black sink that goes with our clean line cabinetry. And one of my other favorite things is having plugs that are out of the way, but easy enough to use when you need them. Doug, do you want to talk a little bit about the cabinetry itself and the integrated shelving and how that all works?
Yeah, absolutely. So our render team, both render cabinets and render counters, did a just incredible job with putting together what you see here. So you've got this matte black AGT surface that is a touch-free, fingerprintless, just wonderful pre-finished cabinet panel. And then we've got these slick counters, and these came from Architectural Surfaces, one of our favorite countertop vendors. And like I said, Render Counters installed these and first set the counter, then the backsplash, and then I came in and set this shelf on a Shepherd shelf bracket. Y'all should check that out if y'all have never seen those before. And then Render Counters came and put the next piece of stone in, and then I put the next shelf, and then I came back with this big, beautiful black panel and brought it so closely to the shelf. Nothing's caulked, it just speaks craftsmanship and really puts a smile on my face when I see it.
Yeah, and our friends at Wilson Appliance really helped us with the appliance suite and selection here. We've got a wall stack, convection oven, and oven. So we've got capabilities for steam, air frying, oven, convection oven, all in one wall stack. You don't have any appliances over on the countertops. That's really nice and out of the way. You've got your cased-in refrigerator. All of that is really clean, counter depth. And Doug, want to talk a little bit about this cooktop?
Yeah, sure. So we kind of had to work with the original setup here with this island with what the utilities were already run through the slab. So we didn't really have a good option of going gas. So we opted for electric in this case. It's really sweet cooktop. And in terms of the vent, if you're wondering like how all this vents, it's got this really killer telescopic vent that just pops right up and you know, sucks everything in and removes it, and then you pop it right back down. It looks kind of 007 style, very similar to those outlets behind us. So just kind of something fun to touch and feel when you're in this kitchen that's a little bit unexpected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lastly, when you are really wanting to show off a kitchen, one of the things that we found is the most important is having all of the finish aspects, really staging it, having it nice. My wonderful friend and fabulous interior designer, Ruby Cloutier of Ruby Cloutier Designs, helped us come in and finish it up with all of the staging to be able to show off to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. You really want to stage a project, especially if you're doing something speculative like this. This is the third anti-flip project, and we've staged everything with Ruby, and we've had great success, and it's just been so cool to be a part of, and great job.
Awesome. Kick it back over to Matt.
Yeah, Matt, what do you think about this kitchen? Thanks for having us on your channel. We really appreciate it, but please do tell us, what do you think about this kitchen?
Doug and Lillie, great job, guys. You asked me my thoughts, so I'm going to give it. I don't know about the matte finish. I'm worried that the matte finish is going to show fingerprints or daily wear, that sort of thing. At my house, you guys have seen my kitchen. I went, not glossy per se, but like I didn't matte finish anything. I wanted a good, cleanable, scrubbable surface. So my Caesar stone countertops, for instance, I went with the standard polished look. For my cabinets, I did a pretty glossy cabinet finish, and so far so good. I mean, I've been in the house for almost 6 months. I can wipe down all my surfaces and the kitchen looks brand new and spotless again. That's my one concern about matte finish. You know, automakers haven't made matte finishes because they kind of show the dirt, but I've seen some cars that have a matte wrap on them and they look sick, so cool. I wonder if that will come about in the automotive world, just like, you know, I was the first one to have black rims on my truck. It was so avant-garde a couple years ago, and now everybody's got that. I'm curious. Doug's probably in the forefront. But Doug, Lillie, great job, guys. Really appreciate it. And big thanks to Magicplan for sponsoring today's video. As I said earlier, thoroughly impressed with this little piece of software you can get as an app on your phone or your iPad. It really brings that promise that I remember when we first started using smartphones, some of these apps came on the marketplace. They were always disappointed. They were always a little jicky. Magicplan, this is the holy grail. Very impressive. We'll put a link to those guys down in the description. And if you want to see more from Doug and sometimes his wife Lillie, who contributes as well, go over to buildshownetwork.com. Doug's bio's in there. You can learn his background. He's been shooting videos once a week and uploading those over on our network. He's a great design build contractor here in Austin, Texas. And fun fact, I tried to hire Doug, oh gosh, almost 15, 16 years ago, and I couldn't afford him at the time. He started his own company. Doug's grown up. Man, he's doing some great work. I loved that kitchen, guys. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on the buildshow.com.